So I just got back from seeing the movie Joker, and it was great. I'd say it's the best superhero movie of the year, if you can even count it as a superhero movie. It's definitely way more of a character study. Don't expect a lot of action or even violence for that matter, because there isn't much. So I'll explain the format of this review before we truly get into it. I'm going to start with the spoiler free section, and then I'll give you a warning, and then we'll go into the spoiler section. But before I start all that, I'll explain the stuff before the movie. So, I knew going in that there were going to be some stuff up to interpretation. So, I'll explain that during the spoiler review, my interpretation of the movie, and things like that. So I was already a little bit on to the lookout for that. I did not receive any spoilers before the movie. That was just the only thing I knew, so I did good about that. So that was nice. Yeah, before the movie started, the only trailers I remembered getting were Birds of Prey and Tenet. I had already seen both, and I'm already excited to see both. They both have promise, but I'm hesitant about Birds of Prey for obvious reasons. I mean, Suicide Squad's trailer looked good, and then it ended up becoming, like, I guess technically it's like a guilty pleasure for me, because I still enjoy the movie, but I recognize that's not very good. And then, yeah, it looks downright great still. And yeah, now down to the Joker movie, spoiler free. Yeah, the one of the first things I noticed about Joker, or one of the more immediate things that comes to mind, is the cinematography is great. It's shot in a way that not a lot of other movies are. There's just something, I don't know, there's something so unique about it that's just so engaging. I don't know what it is, but the way it's shot, it's so engaging. It just really involves you, and it has a punch to it that just fixates you. There's the cinematography was phenomenal for sure, and Joaquin Phoenix was also great. I don't know if he was quite as good as Heath Ledger, but he was definitely up there. It's definitely one of his best performances, I would say. Uh, Other things to address. I liked the plot, though I did find it predictable. More on that in the spoiler section. What else can I address without going into spoilers? I thought that the movie, I know that, so I'm going into personal stuff. I thought that it did have emotional punch to it, even though some of the people that I saw it with didn't say so. What else? I'm trying to think of other stuff. I like the way that was edited. Yeah, I think that's it for like spoiler free. There's not a lot I can go into. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm still like trying to digest it. I was hoping that it would have more violence. It wasn't as in your face as I thought it would be. Like, it felt like a lot of things were off screen. It kind of felt like No Country for Old Men in a lot of ways. And it reminded me of First Reformed a lot too, that kind of character story type deal. I think the trailers revealed a little too much of the ending, because the Joker makeup is really like only the last 15 minutes of the movie, I would say. And they showed almost the entirety of the first half of that in the trailers. So they really shouldn't have shown like almost half the ending in like the trailers, because that's not exactly a good thing to do. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. It's up there with Ad Astra, I would say. I loved it. I'm very glad that I saw it, and I definitely recommend checking it out and supporting it. I'd say I really liked War Dogs and Hangover as well. I thought they were both great, but this is probably the director's best film to date. Uh, if I had to categorize it with like genres, I'd probably call it like a crime thriller or a crime drama, something like that. It's also kind of a psychological thriller because it does delve into the psyche of the main character, but more on that in the spoiler section. Yeah, I think I've addressed everything that I can without going into spoilers. So if you've not seen Joker, stop the video here. I've said everything I can without going into spoilers, and here is the spoiler review. I really thought I was gonna sneeze. Alright. So, first off, I found it pretty predictable. For example, after the first set of murders and when the Walking Phoenix went back into the apartment and, let's just say, further developed his love interest with someone in his apartment, I felt like there wasn't really any chemistry with the character before that. So it felt really abrupt, and I was just like, no, that's bullcrap. I really don't believe that. It didn't convince me at all. So at that point, because I heard that a lot was up to interpretation, I had already correctly guessed that that romance was all just in his head. And yeah, I really jumped the gun correctly on that one, so I'm still pretty impressed at myself for that one, because no one else figured that one out for like another hour. And yeah, I still really like that twist, and it's kind of a shame that I figured it out so early, because I like to be surprised. And I don't mean to be like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so cool, I found out the twist before as soon as I could have possibly. I'm not trying to be like that, I'm just saying I did figure it out as soon as they introduced, like, the twist. Like, it didn't surprise me at all. But I do like the twist still. It's fascinating. A lot of the movie is really fascinating still. And it does have this very emotional hinge to it. The way that, after he gets beat up at the beginning, the way that the title Joker comes on screen does, like, have a punch to it, which I did like. Also, there's, like, a lot of scenes with the relationship. I'm trying to, like, figure out which scenes, like, could have still happened and which ones were just all in his head. I think he killed her, during the scene where you find out that the relationship was just in his head. I'm pretty sure that he killed her. Yeah, that was the scene where when I was talking about it with everyone else, they seemed to all disagree with me. They all thought that she was just fine. So I'm alone on that one, which is interesting because I was like completely convinced that she died off screen, like I said, No Country for Old Men style. The way it was edited together menacingly and everything, it just felt like she was really dead. And then later, when he mentioned how he had nothing left to lose, and like how when he killed his mom, I also saw that one coming too. But that one I saw coming less. It was just when I saw him pick up the pill, I was like, oh, I see where this is going. This is pulling a heavy rain. Great. Although the one part I didn't see coming, the one scene where I didn't know where it was going, was the scene with the murder with the midget, where like I didn't know what he was gonna do with the midget. So that scene was great because I legit had no clue where that was going. I actually thought that the midget was he was gonna. I thought it would have been mean spirited to do so and wouldn't have much purpose, but I thought he was gonna slam the door on the midget's head and kill him along with the other guy, but he didn't do that. So I was pleasantly surprised with how that scene ended up. And then the whole Robert De Niro thing with him dying, everyone saw that one coming. Like, I would be surprised if someone didn't see that one coming, like how that whole plot line ended up. I just wish that that plot line wasn't like the big finale, because I just wish that the third act was less predictable, like it had something else up its sleeve. I do like the other twists, but once again, like, I did see it coming, I just wish there was something else. And I did like that it did have a twist, and the movie does have more than enough to recommend it, and I did still love it, and I will definitely be buying it when it came out. I just wish that there's a little bit more, but what it gave was more than reasonable. The one thing that I didn't catch at the very end was that during literally the final scene was I noticed the blood on the ground from when he was walking away in the mental hospital, but I didn't understand that that suggested that he killed the therapist lady, or at least that's what everyone else said. So we had very different interpretations. I caught that certain scenes where he was like in a crowd or an audience were like all in his head, and there were several scenes like that. So those were all interesting. I think I've addressed everything that I've thought about. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there were like any other surprising scenes that I should like address or anything like that, or anything about the movie that I should address that I hadn't talked about that I have something to say, but I don't know. Oh yeah, Robert De Niro wasn't in it as much as I thought he would be, which was a little disappointing since he was like second in the cast list. He's only in it for like 2 or 3 scenes. Basically, everything that he's in is in the trailers. So that's a little disappointing, but you know. So yeah, I really liked it. Thank you for watching. I'll try to put out more diversity in content, but we'll see what happens. So anyways, see you later. Bye.